Hey everybody, it's me, Johnny from Naturally Me. It's been a while since I've been on here, but what compelled me to come, as they say, is this issue of one day in my life. That is something that's really attracting me to do this today. It wasn't too long that I was at work, and all of a sudden we were told that something had changed, that we had someone um, that had been taken away from us because of COVID. That particular day in March changed my whole existence, as it did the whole United States, globally, everywhere. Things changed. Everywhere we went, things changed. And so this is a little bit, just a little bit about, my feelings in regards to all of this happening right now. So I want to start with just by saying that um, this is a wonderful opportunity in that I have not lost my zeal for life, but I have definitely started looking at it a little differently, a lot differently. Some of the things that I love and that will never go away are some of those things that are anchored in my childhood, in my culture, in my um, life as being born here in America. I love, and right now I miss the chatter of families passing while in shopping centers because you don't hear that much anymore. The shopping experience is definitely different. Um, I used to love after Sundays at church fixing dinner and eating and going out to eat and spending that time. Even if I ate alone for that day, if I went to church alone and people had to work in my family or that kind of thing, there was still something that I was holding on to in regards to tradition. I love the bustling of Christmas shopping. I'm a woman. I love the bustling of Christmas shopping. And that's something I'm going to really miss because as I'm in grocery stores, the shopping experience, even in grocery stores, has changed. We have masks on. And I certainly don't want to minimize the wearing of the mask. But in my eyes, tell the story. And I've noticed in others' eyes, the story is being told. What is it that I fear? Well, I fear that my faith in not only God, the universe, but in things that I know very well will be tested to the point um, that I am really questioning some things. I fear that travel will not look the same because I have people that I love that live abroad and people that I love that live in other states. Recently, I had an opportunity to board a plane and go to see my daughter and my beautiful grandchildren. That was quite an experience. People wore their mask in the airport, on the plane, and there was absolutely hardly no talking. People were preoccupied with their thoughts or sleeping, and there is a space in between us, which I'm not against having that space. But our society was built on the social piece of things, the smiling. I'm sure we all know that a smile, that a nod, that laughter shared between strangers sometimes can make the difference in a person's day, make an impact on their life. And I fear that those things are being taken away from us. I fear that mankind will grow even colder. And we weren't in the best of places, but we had the option prior to this. So those are my fears. I fear that the coldness will become a norm and then be etched in our value system. I fear that our cultures and our families will not have the authenticity, that our memories will be lost and caught up, not because we have purposefully forgot our memories, but because we are preoccupied with trying to live and scrub and spray and what steps to take to keep ourselves germ free and virus free. And again, I'm not minimizing the impact, the danger, but I am saying that there are some things to be feared. And what are those things that I would change about myself or about the world if I could? Well, one of the things I am doing is inspired by I want to say he's one of my heroes, and his name is Thich Nhat Hanh, and he is a Vietnamese monk who was very close to Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King did recommend him for the Nobel Peace Prize. Monk Han is part of the monks that burned themselves as a rebellion against the Vietnam War. And he has brought along this concept called compassionate deep listening. And that's something that I've taken to heart in my practice as a social worker, is the compassionate deep listening. That is something that we don't do, but in that there is methodology in hearing a person, and there's a way to set that stage to hear those people that need to be heard. So I think every change that we're looking for must start with us, the change that we want to see in others. I believe that the violence, everything, the people that are sincere really want change, and I believe and agree that we do need, change. There is going to be a paradigm shift. There is going to be, but it didn't take just a couple of hours to get here, where there are uncertainties and injustices. And those that are sincere know that it's not at all about race. It's about systematic change that needed to take place. And if people are intent on doing those changes, then those changes will take place, and those things, values, norms, histories that we want to hold on to, those traditions that we want to hold on to, those things that we can learn from each other's culture, from each other's background, those things that were brought to the table, to the American table, for all of us to take part in, for all of us to be nourished by, will be preserved. But this, because the ground will be leveled, and people will be able to live in a much more love ridden place. Anyway, I have decided to open my heart a little more to those things that I had been taught by my culture, by my family, by those in my family, and that had those thoughts that some things in religion were right and some things are wrong. I've opened my heart up to find exactly what it is that makes me happy, that gives me the peace, that helps me to ascend to a higher place, that helps me to have a better understanding. Therefore, that understanding is being then passed on to humanity in my actions, through my heart actions. All of this culminates from listening to people and then coming to your own conclusion after you have listened to people. So I've decided to open myself up to learning and to listening to people of different religions, different backgrounds, and I'm doing it so purposefully. And I'm doing it in compassionate, deep listening. And I'm letting my body language do all the talking. I'm letting my body language let them know that they're being heard. And that's something that I would hope that people that are going through these times are really active in this revolution that we can call now. And I think it's absurd that people would come into this revolution and not be serious or have their own agendas. I am very blessed, having been a little girl and watching on TV, seeing the assassination of Martin Luther King, being in a classroom and my teacher gathering us around and telling us that John F. Kennedy had been assassinated, and tears. Shortly after that, again, being pulled around and seeing that Robert F. Kennedy, his brother, was also assassinated, and seeing the first African American president. All of those things are deep hearted within me, and those things I observed watching how they also impacted my mother, who is from a different generation. And of course, she never thought she'd solve it. My hope was in my heart. My prayer, my meditation has always been that we all get to know one another and know that all of us must have a seat around the table. And I think when this is over, that we will see that everybody shall have a seat around the table. So, and the thing that I come to in my meditation is that everybody has their way of acquiring peace in their hearts. It's what you're going to acquire within, deep within, that will manifest its way out so that others can see. One person at a time, one meditation segment at a time, one purposeful quietness and stillness at a time will impact what's definitely happening. So, what's in my pocket? Well, this is in my pocket, as well as my healing stones in the cross. Yeah. You see how the sunlight is coming down across that? Yeah. That's what's in my pocket. Knowing that the healing stones, my belief system, can heal this. That I will not live my life in fear. That I will make some changes within myself, the ones that I want to see in others, in our systems, in everything that we do. That will start with ourselves in doing. That we won't surrender to hate. That will come together, and that we will work to change systems so that everybody is on a level. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to be some heartache, and that people will get the justice that they so deserve after losing loved ones. We have people watching us, people from on high watching to see what we're going to do about these injustices. It's time, people. It's time. And so this is a day in my life. It doesn't take a paragraph. I heard someone say it doesn't take a paragraph to say the truths of this world. Be kind. Love one another. And work towards the change in your own little way that you want to see. Bye-bye.